Open world games just keep getting bigger, crazier, and more ambitious, and 2025 and 2026 look absolutely stacked with titles that could redefine the genre. Whether you're into RPGs, survival, post-apocalyptic wastelands, or fantasy worlds dripping with detail, there's something here for you. Today we're looking at 20 upcoming open world games that you simply should not miss. Dying Light. The Beast is an upcoming survival horror game from Techland that thrusts players back into the decaying world of the undead, this time through the eyes of Kyle Crane. Now a hybrid of man and monster after years of brutal experimentation by a villain known as the Baron. Set in the hauntingly beautiful Castor Woods, a Swiss Alps-inspired valley teeming with biomes like swamps, industrial zones, and decaying tourist towns, the game blends visceral melee combat with rage-fueled beast powers, allowing players to rip enemies apart in brutal fashion. Parkour returns in full force, enhanced by off-road vehicle traversal and a dynamic day-night cycle that transforms exploration into a fight for survival. Crane's internal struggle between humanity and savagery drives a linear revenge narrative, supported by 4-player co-op and shared progression. Originally planned as DLC for Dying Light 2, it evolved into a standalone title with cinematic flair and next-gen visuals. Dying Light, The Beast launches September 19, 2025 on PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and Xbox Series X and S, with PS4 and Xbox One versions arriving later that year.
I don't care how high his walls are, or how big his army is. That fucker will pay for what he did to me. All the years he took from me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
WOOCHI the Wayfarer is a visually stunning single-player action-adventure game set in Korea's Joseon era, developed by Lorevault and published by Nexon Games. Inspired by the classic Korean novel The Tale of John WOOCHI, the game follows the mystical exploits of John WOOCHI, a rebellious mage who uses trickery and sorcery to fight injustice and confront supernatural threats. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it features richly detailed environments, traditional Korean monsters, and a haunting soundtrack composed by Jung Jae-il, known for Parasite and Squid Game. Players will explore a world shaped by folklore and history, encountering shamans, corrupt officials, and mythical beasts in a narrative that blends emotional depth with magical combat. The teaser trailer hints at a tense rivalry between WOOCHI and a mysterious shaman named Myoan, setting the stage for a dramatic journey through enchanted forests and cursed villages. WOOCHI the Wayfarer is currently in development for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, with its release date yet to be announced.
기어코 여기까지. 참으로 정성이십니다.
Black Myth Zhong is the dark and mythic follow-up to Game Science's acclaimed Black Myth, Wukong plunging players into a single-player action RPG rooted in ancient Chinese folklore. Centered on the legendary ghost hunter Zhong Kui, the game explores his journey through realms of the living and the dead, wielding supernatural powers to vanquish evil spirits and restore cosmic balance. The tone is more horror-adjacent than its predecessor, with eerie environments, grotesque demons, and a narrative steeped in spiritual judgment and karmic justice. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it promises cinematic combat, intricate boss battles, and a richly stylized Eastern fantasy world. The teaser trailer shows Zhong riding a tiger, confronting a demon in a surreal, dreamlike landscape, hinting at a story that blurs reality and myth. While gameplay details remain under wraps, fans can expect a Souls-like structure with deep lore and visual spectacle. Black Myth: Zhong is in early development and will release on PC and major consoles, though no official date has been announced. Lords of the Fallen 2 is the brutal sequel to the 2023 dark fantasy action RPG, plunging players into a shattered kingdom where the veil between life and death has all but vanished. Set a century after the original, the game introduces a faster, more punishing combat system that rewards precision and aggression with devastating executions and colossal boss battles that push players to their limits. The Umbral Lamp returns, allowing traversal between two realms, each filled with unique horrors, secrets, and tactical opportunities. Built on lessons from the acclaimed V2.0 update, the sequel expands customization, co-op progression, and world building, offering moonlit citadels, cursed temples, and time-warped landscapes. The story follows a lone hero burdened with restoring divine balance in a world forsaken by gods and consumed by darkness. Lords of the Fallen 2 is set to release in 2026 for PC, Epic Games Store, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
But should you fall, the world falls with you. Lords of the Fallen 2. Wishlist now.
Project Spectrum is an upcoming horror-infused first-person shooter developed by Team Jade, the creators behind Delta Force, and published by Tommy Studio Group. Set in a surreal, shifting world where perception is weaponized, players take on the role of a phantom operative navigating environments that morph based on emotional states and spectral interference. The game blends tactical gunplay with psychological horror, featuring enemies that adapt to your fears and environments that react to your decisions. With a minimalist HUD and immersive sound design, Project Spectrum aims to blur the line between reality and hallucination, offering a deeply atmospheric experience. The gameplay trailer teases stealth mechanics, reality-bending gadgets, and a mysterious antagonist known only as the Architect. While the narrative remains under wraps, early footage suggests a campaign driven by memory reconstruction and spectral espionage. Project Spectrum is currently in development with platforms and release date yet to be officially announced.
The loss is too heavy for you. But sometimes, loss can birth beasts and bury truths. What do you think? What if you are the beast?
The beast?
Last Sentinel is a narrative-driven open-world action game set in a dystopian Tokyo of 2064, developed by Lightspeed LA and powered by Unreal Engine 5. Players step into the role of Hiromi Shota, a hardened operative of the elite DMNS unit tasked with restoring order in a city fractured by catastrophe and corruption. The game blends cinematic storytelling with fast-paced third-person combat, featuring advanced AI enemies, dynamic weather systems, and a richly detailed urban sprawl teeming with neon-lit alleys, vertical traversal, and moral ambiguity. Drawing inspiration from developers behind GTA, The Last of Us, and Titanfall, Last Sentinel promises a fusion of emotional depth and explosive action, with branching dialogue, stealth mechanics, and a haunting synthwave soundtrack. The world reacts to player choices, offering multiple narrative outcomes and faction-driven consequences. Last Sentinel is currently in development with no confirmed release date, but it is expected to launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Follow me.
Architect Land of Exiles is a visually ambitious MMORPG developed by WOOCHI and published by HiBIM, set in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world ravaged by a cataclysm known as the Great Flood. Players explore the sealed region called the Abandoned Land, uncovering secrets tied to the mysterious giant's tower while choosing from 5 distinct classes: warrior, wizard, battle priest, assassin, and hunter. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game features seamless open-world traversal with dynamic movement systems including flying, climbing, and swimming, offering a high degree of freedom and immersion. Combat blends large-scale battles with action-oriented mechanics, while the narrative unfolds through cinematic cutscenes and faction-driven quests. Architect emphasizes exploration, storytelling, and strategic combat in a world teeming with world bosses, dynamic events, and evolving lore. Architect, Land of Exiles is scheduled to release in the second half of 2025 for PC and is expected to expand to global platforms thereafter. Hell Is Us is a haunting third-person action-adventure game developed by Rogue Factor and published by Nacon, set in the war-torn country of Hadea, where supernatural forces have erupted following a mysterious event called the Calamity. Players assume the role of Raimi, a rogue peacekeeper searching for his lost parents while battling grotesque entities known as Hollow Walkers using melee weapons like swords, polearms, and axes. The game eschews traditional HUD elements, quest markers, and map icons, instead relying on immersive environmental storytelling and organic dialogue cues. Inspired by Annihilation and the Southern Reach trilogy, Hell Is Us blends psychological horror with visceral combat, demanding stamina management and tactical awareness. The semi-open world is rich with eerie landscapes and cryptic lore, offering a deeply atmospheric experience. Hell Is Us launches globally on September 4th, 2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
War is a blessing.
We failed to stop the calamity.
How did you know your parents were still in Hadia?
I didn't. All I remembered was that my father was the village blacksmith. There, I felt a connection to this country, to Hadia.
Choose your next move wisely.
You pissed off the wrong people.
I want to piece together whatever is happening here, and you want to stop it.
It became my burden.
Look at you, compromised by your emotions.
I won't stop.
Interesting. Let's continue.
Of Peaks and Tides is an open-world crafting survival game developed by Cyan Cook Games, set in a mythic land shaped by Eastern folklore and intuitive physics. Players awaken in a realm devastated by divine wrath, where every element, from shifting seasons to roaming beasts, reacts dynamically to their actions. The game emphasizes emergent gameplay, allowing players to tame wild creatures, manipulate terrain, and build sprawling settlements that evolve with time and calamity. Combat is strategic and environmental, encouraging players to flood battlefields, set traps, or provoke enemies into chaos. With no fixed path, players forge their own legend through exploration, resource gathering, and alliances, all while uncovering ancient secrets buried beneath mountains and tides. The world is alive, unpredictable, and deeply reactive, offering countless ways to survive, rebuild, and challenge the old gods. Of Peaks and Tides is planned for release in 2025 on PC, with potential expansion to other platforms in the future. Where Winds Meet is an epic open-world WOOCHI action RPG developed by Everstone Studio and published by NetEase Games, set in 10th century China during the chaotic 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period. Players assume the role of a wandering swordmaster, navigating a fractured land filled with political intrigue, ancient secrets, and moral ambiguity. The game offers complete freedom of choice. Become a noble hero, a rogue outlaw, or something in between, with consequences that ripple across the world. Combat is fluid and cinematic, blending martial arts, swordplay, and mystical abilities, while exploration spans imperial cities, forgotten temples, and lush wilderness shaped by dynamic weather and time systems. With no fixed path, players uncover fragmented subplots, forge alliances, and build their legend in a living world that reacts to every decision. Where Winds Meet launches globally on November 14th, 2025 for PC and PlayStation 5.
You wish to enter the jungle. Do you know the road up ahead?
You promised we'd roam the world together.
You sure you can save them? A hero has only one sword against countless foes.
greater good, small losses must be borne. But a small sacrifice for greater gain ahead.
Even when their bodies pile up, they're just footnotes in the annals of history. But are the common folk truly voiceless? When the world falls silent, my blade speaks for them!
Neo Berlin 2087 is a cinematic cyberpunk action RPG developed by Elysium Game Studio, set in a dystopian future where Berlin has become a fortress city divided by wealth, corruption, and technological control. Players step into the role of Nolan, a haunted detective tasked with unraveling a conspiracy tied to the brutal murder of the police chief and the mysterious disappearance of his daughter, Natalie. Blending first and third-person gameplay, the game offers stealth mechanics, emotional storytelling, and RPG systems that allow for character and weapon customization. The narrative explores themes of justice, betrayal, and human connection, with high-end visuals and immersive cutscenes that feel more like a film than a traditional game. As Nolan delves deeper into the city's secrets, players must choose between hacking, combat, or diplomacy to shape the outcome. Neo Berlin 2087 is scheduled to release in 2025 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
You think you're solving the case. This is so much bigger. What if the case is you?
The world only works with order. Without order, chaos breaks out. It's out of balance and we must restore it. Do you understand that, Nolan?
Yes.
Nolan, what have you done?
Big Walk is an upcoming cooperative multiplayer adventure game developed by House, the studio behind Untitled Goose Game. Set in a vast open world inspired by Australia's Wilson's Promontory National Park, the game invites players to explore lush bushland while solving puzzles and engaging in playful communication challenges. Designed around proximity chat and creative interaction, players must mime, sing, or transmit codes to stay connected, fostering teamwork and spontaneous fun. The experience emphasizes relaxed exploration, allowing friends to wander, share stories, or simply enjoy sunsets together. With a focus on social bonding and emergent gameplay, Big Walk blends whimsical mechanics with atmospheric design, offering a sandbox of discovery and laughter. The soundtrack, crafted by Sam Gill and Luke Naher, is diegetic, woven into the world through in-game objects like speakers. Big Walk is scheduled for release in 2026 on PC, Windows, Mac OS, and consoles including PlayStation and Xbox. Chronicles Medieval is a sprawling sandbox RPG set in a brutal yet beautiful medieval European world, developed by Raw Power Games. Players begin with nothing but grit and ambition, forging their legacy through skirmishes, field battles, castle sieges, and political maneuvering. The game emphasizes dynamic storytelling, allowing players to shape their path through diplomacy, warfare, and economic strategy. With a robust crafting system, evolving AI, and modding support, the world reacts to player choices, offering fresh geopolitical challenges across multiple chapters. Castle building evolves with higher tiers and advanced siege machines, while factions and locations expand the depth of gameplay. Designed for early access, the game will grow with community feedback, refining systems like combat, economy, and diplomacy. Chronicles Medieval is set to launch in early access on PC via Steam in 2026, with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions expected in 2027.
This road, there is only death. But that's just my story. Go write your own.
Atomic Heart 2 is the ambitious sequel to Munfish's surreal retro-futuristic shooter, expanding the dystopian Soviet universe introduced in the original. Set after the chaos of Facility 3826, the game follows Major P3 as he navigates a fractured world teetering on the edge of collapse, where rogue AI, mutated biotech, and geopolitical intrigue collide. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the sequel promises a larger, more dynamic open world filled with morally complex choices, enhanced RPG mechanics, and a deeper combat system featuring customizable weapons, skill trees, and new robotic adversaries. Players will explore diverse regions beyond the confines of the original lab setting, encountering side quests, environmental hazards, and ethically charged dilemmas. With cinematic storytelling and a haunting aesthetic that blends Soviet brutalism with speculative sci-fi, Atomic Heart 2 aims to deliver a bold, genre-blending experience. The game is currently in development and expected to launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, with a tentative release. The Witcher 4 marks the beginning of a new saga in CD Projekt Red's acclaimed fantasy RPG series, shifting the spotlight from Geralt to Ciri as the central protagonist. Set years after the events of The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, the game explores Ciri's evolution into a full-fledged Witcher, complete with new magical abilities, agility-based combat, and a darker, more personal narrative. Players will traverse a vast open world built in Unreal Engine 5, encountering morally complex choices, new monsters, and dynamic environments shaped by player decisions. Romance, Gwent, and side quests return with deeper integration, while the story promises emotional weight and political intrigue. The cinematic trailer revealed at the Game Awards 2024 teased Ciri confronting a monstrous Bauk in a northern village, hinting at a more mythic tone. The Witcher 4 is currently in full-scale development and is expected to release no earlier than 2027 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
She went to go to the woods. The chosen one. His tradition.
Oh no, no, no.
It's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods. To go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Swords of Legends is a standalone action RPG developed by Oregon Shanghai, marking the global debut of the beloved Gujian franchise outside China. Set in a hauntingly beautiful underworld steeped in Chinese mythology, players take on the role of Si Pan, an underworld enforcer, dead yet reborn, tasked with guiding lost souls and battling supernatural horrors. The game blends mystical techniques, divine artifacts, and strategic combat, allowing players to summon captured spirits, bind enemies with spiritual seals, and unleash devastating multi-target attacks. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the world is richly atmospheric, featuring lotus ponds, cliffside temples, and spectral beings inspired by ancient texts like the Classic of Mountains and Seas. With a wide linear structure, the game offers focused storytelling while preserving player agency and avoids punishing difficulty in favor of tactical depth. Swords of Legends is set to release in 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Wait, not.
What? The soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
and you know that.
ArcheAge Chronicles is the next evolution in the acclaimed MMORPG franchise developed by Excel Games and published by Cacao Games. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it promises a seamless open-world experience with dynamic combat, rich lore, and expansive player-driven systems. Players will explore the vast continent of Aurora, where lush forests, treacherous seas, and ancient ruins await discovery. The game introduces a revamped action-based combat system, blending strategic depth with fast-paced mechanics, while maintaining the sandbox freedom that defined its predecessor. From crafting and trading to naval warfare and territory conquest, every choice influences the evolving world. Social systems are deeply integrated, allowing guilds to shape politics and economies. With a focus on immersive storytelling and next-gen visuals, ArcheAge Chronicles aims to redefine the genre for both veterans and newcomers. The game is scheduled for release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.
The Blood of Dawnwalker is a dark fantasy action RPG developed by Rebel Wolves and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, set in the Gothic kingdom of Val Sangora during a plague-ridden 14th century Southeast Europe. Players embody Cohen, a cursed warrior battling silver poisoning and vampirism, racing against time to save his sister Lunka while navigating a world ruled by vampire overlords who impose a brutal blood tax on humanity. The game blends narrative depth with dynamic combat, offering vampiric powers like Shadow Step and Focus Mode alongside swordplay and magic. Every decision shapes the world, with quests advancing a 30-day countdown that pressures players to choose allies, uncover ancient secrets, and confront the tyrannical vampire Brentsis. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game features a handcrafted open world teeming with lore, moral dilemmas, and supernatural threats. The Blood of Dawnwalker is scheduled for release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Not me, though. They tried to change me into one of them. But I became something else instead. Their worst nightmare. Trapped between the two worlds, fighting to even the score, fighting to understand the evil behind it all.
He is out there watching, seeping into you, growing.
Ghost of Yotei is the highly anticipated sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, developed by Sucker Punch Productions and set 300 years after the original in the rugged northern landscapes of 17th century Ezo, modern-day Hokkaido. Players step into the role of Atsu, a female warrior who survived a brutal attack by the notorious Yotei 6, a gang that murdered her family and left her pinned to a burning ginkgo tree. Now armed with vengeance and dual katanas, Atsu returns to hunt each member of the gang: the snake, the oni, the kitsune, the spider, the dragon, and Lord Saito. The game introduces new combat styles, including the use of Odachi and Kusarigama, and features dynamic weather, reactive environments, and cinematic presentation modes. Atsu's journey blends stealth, brutal combat, and emotional storytelling with flashback mechanics that reveal her past. Ghost of Yotei will launch exclusively on PlayStation 5 on October 2nd, 2025, with a PC release expected later. GTA 6 is Rockstar Games' long-awaited return to open-world chaos, set in a modern-day reimagining of Vice City and the surrounding state of Leonida, inspired by Florida's diverse geography and culture. The game follows Lucia, a female protagonist entangled in a Bonnie and Clyde-style criminal saga, navigating a world shaped by dynamic weather, evolving NPC behavior, and real-time economy systems. Built on Rockstar's next-gen Rage engine, GTA 6 promises seamless interiors, enhanced vehicle physics, and a living world that reacts to player choices with unprecedented realism. Social media, hacking, and surveillance play key roles in gameplay, while the story explores themes of loyalty, desperation, and systemic corruption. Multiplayer integration is expected to evolve GTA Online into a persistent, cross-platform ecosystem. With cinematic storytelling, satirical edge, and technical ambition, GTA 6 aims to redefine the genre once again. GTA 6 is officially set to release on May 26, 2026 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, with a PC version expected later that year.
The new beginnings.
You break the news, isn't it? Trust me, this place is just the start for us.
Ring the bell! Shots released!
The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got.
Gonna do this? We're doing it right.
Yo, D, this full effect? They got your name, address, they got everything. Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
Like,
You and me, bro. You got this.
We got it.
Say Vice City, baby! Vice City!
Come to Bill's Ammunition today. We got more guns than a law allows.
Hey.
And that wraps up our list of 20 upcoming open-world games of 2025 and 2026 you shouldn't miss. So tell me, which of these are you most excited for? Personally, I've got my eyes on The Witcher 4 and GTA 6. Drop your picks in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.